Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Women Together Connect moment. Today is Tuesday, March 29th. It's wonderful to be all together. I love going into the gallery view, so I highly recommend it. So we can all just say hello and land together in this space before we introduce our wonderful guest and teacher today, Jaqueline Sussman. So before we move over to that portion of our program, we'll just land here together and a warm welcome to all from wherever you may be sitting or standing or lying down or coming from today. It's really just such a wonderful joy to be able to connect with each other every week and to really just land in this space and time and really give ourselves just a little moment in our week, just a little moment to land, and a little moment to be together and to have some space. So that is really what we're doing with Women Together. A warm welcome to all of you who have been coming every week after week. And for those of you who have been away for a little while and are back, a warm welcome. And for those of you who may just be joining for the first time, it's such a joy and wonderful to have you here. So thank you for being here today. We love to start with a little hello in the chat. So if you haven't done that yet, you can start saying hello there. We know that winter has returned to the northeast of the United States. We're seeing a few of those comments. We thought spring was here. We thought spring was around the corner. But here we are in, let's see, wintry New York, the Hudson Valley, Long Island, Aberdeen, New Jersey. Bright, cold Boston, Winchester, Mass, cold, sunny Toronto, springtime in Boise. Good to know it's happening somewhere and just send it our way. Ossining, good to be back in Ossining. Wonderful. Hamburg, North Germany. Nice spring in the afternoon. Paris, France, still spring there. So good. Huntington Beach, California. St. Pete Beach, Florida. And sunny Columbus, Ohio. Wonderful. So you can keep putting those in the chat, but it's just so lovely to be all together. And I love just taking in where we're all sitting and where we're all connecting from as we build our circle here. I know that many of us are still coming in. And it's really also wonderful to have this knowledge of us coming together in this Zoom room, but knowing that we're each holding this little spot of land, this little space that we're connected to. So I invite us just for a moment to connect to the land that we may be on today. We may find ourselves. Perhaps this is the one that we are finding ourselves regularly, or perhaps it's a new one. But just acknowledging the land that we are on. And just take a moment to connect with the feeling of the feet on the earth. Perhaps connecting through the floor. Just acknowledging the people who have come before us on this land, the lives that they may have led. And their hopes and dreams, and how they may have connected with the land each day. And just giving gratitude for a moment to all those who have come before us. And just recognizing how we continue to walk with them by our side in some way. And I invite us into a little moment of stillness, our first tiny practice from this acknowledgement, into just a space inside our own bodies. Connecting to the breath, feeling the inhale and exhale. And allowing the feeling of the breath to just allow us to land. Letting go of whatever may have come before this moment. Any things we're trying to figure out, any places that we're going or next conversations, just being fully here in the body. Letting the breath move up and down the spine. And slowly, when you're ready, you can reconnect with the screen, reconnect with our circle here. And this is where gallery view is a really wonderful thing. So we can connect with each other and just feel each other here in the space, and perhaps send out a warm welcome from the heart, a warm welcome to all these wonderful human beings here with us. Just feeling this circle of connection. Wonderful. I love that little welcome, the greeting that we sometimes miss in these Zoom spaces. Just giving ourselves the, oh, here we are. Oh, here she is. Oh, here I am. Disconnecting. Wonderful. And then we can just type in the chat a little moment of what brought you here today. So perhaps you're here to see Jaqueline, you're here for visioning a new path is what our theme is for today. And really just connecting into what brought you here. And we'll share in the chat. If you're on YouTube, you'll share in the comments, and we'll just see what is coming up, what we're holding in our community. Deeper connections. What will I absorb today? I'm here for each and all of you, supporting us to bring more love into the world. Love, this week's theme, renewal, my dose of serenity. I'm curious about visioning. I need support with it in my life. Inspiration and connection, connecting with other like-minded women, and Jaqueline, and information on circles. To see you again. Wonderful. So many of us are coming in from a lot of different places and connection, and yeah, just wonderful to be all together. So what we'd love to do is turn it over to Jackie, and I'll just share a little bit. It's so wonderful. I actually had one of my Dorian Baroni just quoted you, Jackie, on she's come in to teach us before, and she just quoted you. And I said, wait, do we have Jackie coming in? And I'm so glad. And so it's just this, this wonderful field that I feel we're building, and just to have you in it, Jackie, has been such a really powerful and important aspect of what you're bringing. And just to share with all of you, for those of you who may not know, Jackie is an author, a speaker, she's a seminar leader, she's an executive coach. She's one of the foremost practitioners of eidetic imagery psychology. And she's been working with a group in our Eileen Fisher community for, I want to say the last 2 years. The last 2 years really bringing this powerful work of eidetic imagery in, and really sharing this inner vision work for transformation in our inner world and in our lives. And what I feel is it's really actually starting to transform the world around us. So she's worked with top-level government officials, healthcare providers, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, leaders in organizations such as UN Women, Google, Mattel, Coach, Zappos, Coursera, women executives in state government, professional athletes, many more. She really, has been such a leading thinker and speaker, and evolving our way of seeing in the world. She's the author of two books, Freedom from Failure and Images of Desire. And she's been a monthly writer for Total Health magazine. So we are so grateful, Jackie, that you're here with us and that you've been doing this work with us. And we're just to mention that having you here for our Connect has been so wonderful that we are partnering to do a circle program, which is slightly different than the Women Together circles that we've been doing, in that Jackie will be leading us in a 4-week deepening of this practice that she's going to share with us today. So that's for those of us who have been in the Women Together circles over the last 6 weeks. Tomorrow's our last session. We have this slightly different offering, and then we'll come back to our circles again. So it's really just so wonderful to have you here with us, Jackie, and to partner with you in this way, and to share the work that you're doing with the world. And I hope that we can just do more and more of that. So thanks, Jackie.
Thank you so much. So it's a real pleasure to be here today. And thank you so much for coming to this program. And I hope that you leave with something that you've learned about yourself from a deeper place within you. The reason that I do this work and my passion is really about empowering women from within. So we've, for many years, heard many things about coming into our power. But what I have found is that the power really comes from an internal shift within ourselves. And as the great mystics have talked about, and they have said, like Gandhi and spoke about, when we change ourselves internally, everything around us, everything that comes to us changes because we are emitting a different sense of self. So that is what my work is about. It's about going deeply within through a methodology that I have been working with for over 40 years that creates change inside of us so that we can access a deep well of our own giftedness, our strengths, and our abilities. So I'll get into that in a moment. I'd like to start with what some of the mystics and visionaries for many years have said and prophesied about women. So mystics are always ahead of the curve and they see ahead of the time. So this is what some of them have said. So I'd like to start with the Dalai Lama, who's still alive, and we know who he is. And he says, women have a special capacity to lead us to a more peaceful world with compassion, affection, and kindness. And there's no more important time for that than this moment. And we're so well aware with everything that's going on in the world right now, how important that is. It's so interesting that he talks about women leading with compassion, affection, and kindness. And almost like these are powers that we have that can actually alter and change other people around us. Sri Aurobindo, a great Indian mystic, said, soul on earth can only be birthed through the feminine mind. Her grace and presence is needed to perform the sacred work for a new consciousness. And don't we need to really birth soul on earth right now? And it will come, and it is coming through the mind and psyche of women. So I have many, many of these quotes from many, many visionaries and incredible people. And I will share one more by Hazrat Inayat Khan, who was a very famous, well-known Sufi mystic, who said, I can see as clear as daylight that the hour is coming when women will lead humanity to a higher evolution. So in my work and in my research, I have come to understand what it is about women and what it is that we have at this time in history that differs from men. And I've come to understand that indeed, we do have a different mind. We know that science has said women's and men's brains are different. There's a different hormonal download that we have from emotions and ways that we perceive life. And I understood that I have to help, this is my feeling of passion and mission, empower women from the inside out to bring out who we uniquely are that has been suppressed through eons of cultural conditioning, because it's within us to make a difference in the world, just in our natural way of being. So I'm going to go back and talk about the work that I do. So over 40 years ago, I met the leading theoretician in the field of eidetic image psychology, EIDETIC. And that is the study of images stored in the mind of all of our life experience. So everything that's happened to us from day one, our relationship with our mothers, our fathers, whoever our primary caretakers are, their relationship to each other gets stored in our brain in specific locations. And these form, and some of them take over, traumas and things like that seem to take over, and they become an operating system that we run in life. But hidden from view, and this has been studied at universities all over the world, is a storehouse of information of our wholeness, the blueprint of our greatness, our genius, our true abilities. And through this method, which I will share with you today, I'm going to take you through some tools and techniques, you can actually clearly see what is the conditioning, what are those things that get in your way, that are automatic knee-jerk reactions, that are like a pattern or filter, like an operating system in your brain, and how can you move it to the dissociated, that's what the researchers call it, not the unconscious, but just out of our awareness, storehouse of our true power and ability. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the eidetic image does and what it is, and then I'm going to take you through an exercise so you yourselves can experience how you operate and find some of those places that are storehouses of information for you. Leading into that, next week, I begin a series, which Antoinette talked about, on the feminine, bringing out feminine powers in each one of you. So the answers all come from within you. I'm not going to give you any answers. I call myself, people laugh at me, but the can opener. I just kind of know where to give you a little tool and out comes your power, out comes your ability, out comes your own unique answer to any problem that you have. And that's what I love about this method. So next week, the first session will be on feminine power and all the research that I have been involved with that is showing what women are bringing to the table that we do in everyday life that we don't even recognize the power of. This next session will be wisdom, how to bring wisdom to all our relationships. And the wisdom is found from within you, which will be either in personal relationships, marriages, children, friendships, and all the glitches we get into with these people, and also work relationships. How to find your own passion in life for the work you do, for mothering, for whatever passion, whatever it is that really moves you. And the last one, which is one of my favorites, is how to unleash your own soul qualities, the depth of your soul qualities, to bring into interactions with everyone in your life. So that's a series that I'll be presenting with many imagery tools and techniques that will uncover your own authentic powers. So the eidetic image has found that these images get systematically stored in the brain and can be referenced for future information. And when you see one of these images, you will see it in your mind's eye. So I may ask you to close your eyes and see it in your mind's eye, but try it with both eyes open and eyes closed, because some of you might be able to see better with eyes open. So I just want you to check it out. I personally only can see images really with eyes closed. The images might be vague or vivid, but that does not mean that you're a bad imager if they're vague. You can find parts vague and parts vivid. That's all very normal. There's meanings to that. And what you will notice, the thing that really is important is the somatic response. So any image that you have will have a feeling, whether pleasant or unpleasant, or body sensation. My heart gets tense, my throat closes up, my heart opens, my belly feels good. There'll be physical or emotional feelings, and lots of meanings come. So are you ready to start an image to try it? Okay. So I'll great. Perfect. Okay. Thank you. So what I'd like you to do to start is, in your mind's eye, envision, see a person you're having difficulty with. So just see an image in your mind's eye, whether it's vague or vivid, or you might feel it, of a person that you're having difficulty with. Someone that you might feel a little powerless with in some way. or someone who you feel obstructs you. So see an image that you're interacting with that person. And as you see that image, what do you see? So first the image, what do you see? As you're seeing the image, notice how the person appears and how you feel. Where inside you is the feeling or the sense of disempowerment? Is it something you can't say? Is it something you can't do? Do you feel one down? Is it frustration? You can't communicate. Just notice what that is. Okay, so does everybody have a feeling or a sense of that? Because how you are in the situation is really important. Okay, so if you're seeing it, just raise your hand so I get a sense that everyone is seeing an image. And you're okay, great. And if you can't see it, just notice how you feel as you think of that person, because the feeling is also part of the image. Okay, so as you see that and you're noticing, what is your own personal disempowerment regarding that person? What I'd like you to do is look into their eyes. In the image, you can see that because we store a lot of information about people. You don't have to see their real eyes, but as you see them in the image. So look into their eyes. There's a feeling or a story there. Notice, what do you see? And as you see that feeling or that story, again, notice, how do you feel? Does your feeling for them change in any way? Okay, so raise your hand if you've seen that. Okay, and keep your hand up or raise your hand if your perception of the person has changed in any way by looking into their eyes. Okay, good. When your perception shifts, there's a different feeling of self. And I don't know if it was more powerful or not for you, but just notice that. Now, as you're seeing them again, just look at them again and notice how you are feeling towards them. And how are you, see how you're interacting with them. What do you say? What do you do? And how do you feel as you do that? And whatever that is, see a wind comes down from the heavens and surrounds just you. This wind is a gift from spirit. Some people call it the gods. Some people say nature or the divine, but just see a wind come down from the heavens and surround you. It's a gift from a higher spirit for you. And how does that wind feel? Doesn't surround the person. Now see another you jumps out of you. It just kind of pops out of you. What does that other you look like? What is her energy? What is her spirit? And now see that you interacting with that person. And notice, how does the person respond in the image to the one that jumped out of you? Now see that you become this other you that jumped out of you, because the one, and see yourself as one with that one. because what jumped out of you came out of your own consciousness. It's your authentic self, or much more your authentic self. Sometimes we need a few jump outs, but whatever came out of you is your authentic self. And if you see how that one interacts with a person, and if that person has shifted in relation to you, you are actually seeing how that person will respond to you in real life when you interact with them from that place. Does that make sense? Just nod your heads. Yeah, because as we change, people change towards us. It's amazing how that works. So the one that jumped out of you is connected to your more authentic being and self. So I'll give you a little example. I was working with a woman in Google at a seminar, and she kept going to her manager, needing, I'm sorry, my Google just went off, thinks I'm talking to it here. But so she kept going to her manager, trying to get what she called favors to get her to make her job better. Now, only a woman would say, do me a favor, when it's actually she's trying to do a better work at her job. And he kept saying no to her. And then she saw this wind come, and another her jumped out of her. And she realized, oh, I have presence, and I have a feeling that I deserve these things. Before, her conditioned self felt a little one down and not entitled to receiving things, but the one that jumped out of her did. And she actually saw in the image, he gave her what she needed. So she said to me, I don't think this works, Jackie. But I said, try it. So she saw that image in her mind, and she walked in with that feeling of presence, and he gave her everything she wanted. And she brought in so much money into her project because of that one interaction. I have so many examples of this. So this is the work that brings you to your own innate essential powers, your wisdom and your abilities. So I wish I could hear from you at this point, so maybe you can write some of your thoughts and comments in the chat room so I can see them. Okay. So if there's any questions, put them in the chats, and I will see if I can look and answer them. But I know that at this time, Antoinette will take over. Yes?
Yeah, I do. Let's give it a minute and see if there are any thoughts or questions before we go into our breakouts together, because it would be good to kind of, I know we're going to move the process forward a little bit. So we've got a few different questions.
Yes.
Is it bad if the self that jumps out of you wants to harm that person?
Not at all. Not at all.
So yeah, maybe you could speak to some of these.
Okay, so that is a really great question. And what that means is that that person must have hurt you, because anytime that a person hurts us, there's also anger right there next to it. But we are conditioned to suppress our anger. And there's a certain kind of anger that nature gives us, which is almost akin to a mother lioness protecting her cub when that cub is going to be hurt. So the lioness gets ferocious. So the anger that we feel, or that you feel towards that person, must have some justice in it for you. So in the image, you can see, let that anger and rage out. What it'll do is it'll resolve something from you and give you more inner space and more wisdom to deal with them in a better way. I wouldn't suggest getting that rage out at the person just like that, because that probably would not be beneficial. But for you to not suppress it and really feel it and express it in the image will bring you clarity and a sense of inner peace. Because always when we're hurt, there's anger there, and it's not good to bypass it or suppress it, because it might make you depressed or clouded. Important to feel everything in relation to a time when we are hurt. So I hope I have answered that question. So let me see, any more?
There are a few more. How does it work with people that I have long-term relationships with who already have a judgment of me and they didn't notice a change in me? That's one of them.
Yes. So I've been married for about 40 years to the same person, and I always wanted to change him. And guess what? I never could. So I learned that as I shifted myself, which took me a while to do because I'm stubborn, but as I shifted myself, my husband was different towards me. And it's like instantaneous, instantaneous. I remember one time we got into a really silly fight over something so stupid, I can't even remember. But I was going to be right and he was going to be right. And we were like this. And that's a style that we fought. Neither one of us would be the first to get over it. And I know, and the work I do, the one who gets over it is the bigger soul. Well, neither of us wanted to do it. So I paused and went into another room, and all of a sudden I was flooded with love, not for him, but just love. I think there was a deer in my backyard or something that touched me. And he walked in and he saw the presence of love in me. He just felt it and he completely melted. And I never forgot that, because that was my first understanding that if I just shift inside, he will be different towards me. So that is the truth. Yes.
Thank you, Jackie. And when you said it took me a while because I'm stubborn, I was like, who can relate? So
No, I want to be right. No, I want to be right. Yeah, of course. But I learned. So wisdom was learning to change myself. And I've done it with my children as well. So I've grown children and I'm their mother. So sometimes they have an issue with me. And I realize if I change how I am towards them, and I do use that image, they melt around me. The communication is so much better. I bring more heart or love to the situation. And I've really learned the power is in me.
Thanks, Jackie. So what we'd like to do is take this little nugget that we've had of this incredibly powerful experience and move this into connection with each other. So we're going to turn to each other in breakouts and just share a little bit about what came up for you, if it was a particular vision, or if you didn't actually see a vision, just had a feeling, just sharing what came up for you. And then we'll come back. If you're in Zoom, we'll have some more time with Jackie before we close the session. So we'll go in for about 15 minutes. I know it's a little shorter for some of us who are used to the 20 minutes. So just please manage your time, making sure that everyone gets a chance to speak, everyone gets a chance to share. And really, I encourage, as always, a deep listening with each other. So really listening to beyond the words of this person, really listening with the whole body. So that is the invitation for the next 15 minutes. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We will continue next week. So enjoy your